Hi, this is Dina Goldesich with Well Planned Web. Let's look at when good blogs go bad. There have been some big brand names out there who've made some poor decisions in their blogging that, while that's unfortunate for them, it's actually fortunate for us because sometimes the easiest way to learn how to do something right is to see what happens when it goes wrong. So let's take a look at why blogging even matters to business. Well, it turns out that businesses that blog actually get 55% more website visitors, 97% more inbound links, and 434% more indexed pages on Google. This is according to HubSpot. Now, all of that traffic obviously leads to more inquiries, or it should if your website is designed well, and which leads to more leads, which in essence leads to more sales, which makes us all very happy. So blogs really can make a difference in your business, and it's really a matter of designing them correctly. The other benefit of blogging is in the social media world. So even if you're out on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, that's all well and good, but your ideas can really be expanded on if you have a home base of content. So if you tweet an idea, well, 140 characters is only going to get you so far. But if you can link that tweet to an article that you've written, you're really showing your expertise and showing your knowledge, and that becomes a home base and kind of an archive of your information and your value. So let's look at our first example. This is a blog called Walmarting Across America, written by a couple named Laura and Jim. Laura and Jim discovered that Walmart actually provides free overnight parking for RVs and campers. So they decided, hey, why don't we ride across the country and blog about our experiences at Walmart and our experiences in our travel. And it turned out to be a pretty great blog with some great content, photos, stories. The only problem was that as they traveled across the country in this slick van, they came across employees and customers who were absolutely 100% always satisfied and happy with their Walmart experience. Well, the blogosphere didn't feel like that was quite the truth, and they started putting pressure on the bloggers as well as Walmart. Walmart said, hey, we're not funding this, and there were some investigations done that did show, yep, Walmart was not funding it at all. And sure enough, it was actually funded by an organization called Working Families for Walmart. Well, although Walmart did not own that agency, their PR firm did. And their PR firm came forward and said, hey, it was all us. Walmart didn't even know that we were doing this. And it was true. Walmart truly did not. But it did turn out that, Walmart did take the heat for that. And not being authentic and having a blog that wasn't serving an authentic purpose really came back to bite them, whether it was their responsibility or not. So it just goes to show that if you're not authentic, it will catch up with you. Another great example is from L'Oreal's Vichy. This is a brand that is actually out in France, so you may not recognize it, but it was written by a woman named Claire. And Claire would write about her crazy antics at night and how she'd go out partying and she'd come home and have these wrinkles and her skin would look so taut and so distressed. And she used language that was not what an everyday person would say. It was very much marketing speak. So quickly the blogosphere called it out and said, hey guys, if you really think that this product is so terrific, why don't you just allow normal people to use it and not create this fictitious character? So L'Oreal said, you know what, you're right, we made up Claire, she's not real, and they took down the blog and said, hey bloggers, real people, why don't you try this product for 90 days and let us know your thoughts? Well, sure enough, bloggers came tenfold and said, yep, we'll try it. And, it turned out to be extremely successful, much more successful than their original blog. So to L'Oreal's credit, they turned around what was a bad situation, got rid of Claire and really offered this to some real people who provided much better publicity than the fake blog ever could. So our next example comes from Alcoa Recycling. Now, the good thing about Alcoa's blog is that they update it very regularly, very positive. But unfortunately, the content that they update it with is extremely milquetoast, not very valuable, and it's very obvious that they're just uploading a lot of press releases, and they haven't really tailored this content to meet the needs of their readers and their fans. The other issue with not planning out your blog is that you wind up with a blog that's very inconsistent and it shows a lack of commitment to your readers and to your viewers. Planning your blog out really allows you to provide consistent value to your readers and to your customers. but lack of doing that actually leads to a lot of gaps in time. So an example here is the last post to this Goodyear blimp blog was February 2010. And before that, it was July of 2009. So while it's a terrific blog with fantastic content, it kind of drops off a cliff and leaves the users hanging. So our last example of what happens when you don't plan out your blog is that your blog eventually has no point. And this is an internal blog for KFC, and this is for they call it their citizen blogs. It's really geared towards their employees and what they call their team members. Great concept, but there wasn't any planning, which led to posts like, hey, what do you do? Or, hey guys, what's up? Or how can we get our employees to visit the blog and website? And a concerted effort was made, but no real planning happened. And it looks like this was really done by committee and no one really took charge of this. So great idea and concept, but it just fell in terms of the execution. So another common problem we see on even some of the big name blogs is no social media optimization. And this is a company called DaVita, and they provide at-home kidney dialysis supplies. Terrific website with a lot of fantastic content. But unfortunately, a lot of their blog posts don't have the ability to share. And what I mean by that is if I'm here and I come here from Facebook and I see, oh, hey, DaVita has a website with some great articles. I don't have any way to share that with my Facebook network or with my Twitter fans. And there's no way for me to share their content. And really, DaVita's missing out on a huge opportunity. So there's a misconception that, hey, if we write it, they will come. Not necessarily. You really have to make sure that you make your content very shareable across the networks. And DaVita could really remedy this with just a few small changes to their site. They could add a like button. Very simple. I'm sure you all recognize this from Facebook. The like button is taking on a whole new life of its own and really adding the ability to share on Facebook with a click from any external site. It's just awesome. And the other items are adding a tweet button or adding what's called this is called sexy bookmarks on the bottom, and where you can actually install this on your blog and people can click on any network that they belong to and share it with their network. Just makes it quick and easy. It's a one-click way to share for your visitors. Last but not least, we have a great example from Progressive Auto Insurance. While, again, Progressive updates their blog very, very regularly, their content leaves a lot to be desired. Here you have an example of 4th of July drivers, quick tips to avoid distractions. Valuable content, however, there's nothing here that really screams that it's Progressive, that it's really their voice and tone. This truly could be written by any auto insurance company whatsoever. So what's lacking here? What voice is actually missing from this content? Their main character, Flo. Flo has become so well known and so attached to the Progressive name, it would be fantastic if they actually pulled her into the blog occasionally and really gave their blog that voice and tone. They've become so well known and so tied with Flo, they're missing a huge opportunity here. So to kind of sum up what Progressive is doing wrong at this point is they literally have no transparency, no insight into their organization, no voice and tone, no real personality, no connection with the audience, and it's very much corporate speak. It's homogenized copy, what I like to call PR poison, and very clearly designed by committee.